Welcome back to another edition of Fly Tying for Beginners. Today we're going to tie a bass bug, and this is going to be a Fire Tiger Angus. The hook I have in the vise is a number 2 bass bug hook. We're going to put a weed guard and a follow guard on it, and we're going to use this beadlon 15 thousandths 0.38 millimeter. You can even use heavier for the weed guard. But this is vinyl coated wire. The thread I'm going to use is big fly thread, and this is size B. We're going to start the thread near the rear of the hook. And we're going to put down a base down around the bend. We want to have a nice foundation for our weed yard. We're going to go about halfway around the bend there. Then we can remove the extra thread. I'm going to take my beadlon wire, I'm going to put it through the vise jaws, and I'm going to start tying that in. I'm going to spin my thread in the counterclockwise direction, get it flattened out there a bit. And we're going to tie that in right on top. And we're going to cover this right over. And we're going to wait right there. I'm going to take another piece of the beadlon. I'm going to tie this in on the side. You're going to watch this big thread. You have to keep tension on it or it will try to unravel on you. I'm going to put that right on the side. Keep that thread flat too. You can see the big difference in that. And we're just going to come down just to where it starts to bend. Then I'm going to fold it over, and we want a loop on the back to be about 1 inch long. We're going to fold that over and tie it in on the other side of that weed guard wire. Get it started, then you can move it over. There we go. Now we could tighten that down there a little bit. You want to keep that on the side so you have a nice flat follow guard. And then I'm going to remove the excess. And make sure you get both sides covered over. Now I'm going to take some crazy glue and I'm going to put it on there, and I'm going to go down the weed guard also, just to ensure that that's going to hold on there good. For the tail, I'm going to start out with ostrich herl, and I have a chartreuse, a yellow, and a pink. And the yellow and chartreuse will surround the pink more or less. We're going to tie that in right there. Keep my thread. Now, the body, I'm going to start off with a yellow marabou, and it doesn't matter if the front is not so much marabou. We're going to tie it in by the tip. You want this with the marabou feathers that you find in your bag that aren't as fluffy. What they do is provide a nice water pushing element to it. I'm going to wrap the marabou just like you would with any hackle and pull it all towards the rear as you're going. And we're going to secure that. Keep that big thread tight if you're using big thread, because it can unravel, and that is not good at this point. Now I'm going to take an orange marabou. And we're going to tie this in. I'm going to take another yellow and then another orange. Now I'm going to take yellow and red deer hair, and I mix them together in my hair stacker. Stack them well. And you want about the size of a pencil. We're going to wrap these and spin it. Going to hold them on top. And you can twist it to where you want it. It's a little difficult spinning on top of all that thread, but there we go. We want most of the hair on most of the tips on the top. And then we're going to bring our thread up front and put a couple of wraps real tight against it. And you can push that into, pack that good. And we're going to repeat that process. When you trim the hair off, make sure that you pull that fuzz out of there, because that is what helps it to split, to spin. To make the hair intermingle there so well, you can see that all you see is red in that hair stacker right now. Just take your bodkin needle and just mix it up. Stack that hair. When you stack that hair, when you mix the hair together, make sure all the fuzz is out, because that will prevent it from mixing. On our second layer, we want to cut the tips off. We're going to give that 2 wraps and then pull it tight. Give it a couple extra wraps and pack that in tight. Put a couple wraps in front. I'm going to take that weed guard, and you want to leave a little bit of space below, leave it hang a little bit below that point. I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it up through the eye. And you could actually bend this wire just a little bit. And we're going to tie that wire in. Put it through the eye, fold it back, and tie that wire down. And then, of course, we need to trim off the excess. So I'll find that wire in all of this mess. And there we go. Trim that off and put some nice tight wraps on that wire to secure it and form the head. Form that nose there. Now we can take our whip finish. Finish that off. If you got any hairs, try to pull them out before you pull the thread too tight. There we go. Pull that nice and tight. We could trim off the thread and put some super glue right on that head. When we go to trim it, we're going to stand up the hair. I'm going to trim this way, all the way around. Here, and at an angle that way, and an angle that way, and at an angle on the bottom. And here we have a Pike Angus. Hope that you learned something from this video. Hope you would subscribe to my channel. Please refer me to your friends. Leave comments, questions, suggestions. And most of all, thank you very much for watching my videos.